Welcome to the Giving a Purpose podcast, where we bridge the highs, the lows, the lessons learned through life's journey, and filling in the gap. Listen, you guys already know what it is. I need that new energy, new greatness. Listen, we're in the last week of 2021. 2022 is already here. So hopefully you've already been planning. All right. Hopefully you've already got things in your head that you're ready to accomplish. Now, listen, to help you out, I brought a special guest. Yes, I know I say everybody's special, but this is a special guest with me today. Great mind. I want to make sure we have, when we're going into this new year, we know what to do with our money. Listen, man, we got to get into this generational wealth and just different things like that. So I'm going to bring on somebody on here that's going to allow us to create those things, to give us some pointers on what we need to do. So today, for you guys, I have my cousin. Yes, he is my cousin. I have my cousin, Curt.Duck Jr. here. Man, Curt, introduce yourself. Let people know a little bit about yourself, what you do, and what's going on in your life right now.
Hey, how's everybody going? My name is Curt.Duck. I graduated from Pitt in 2019 with a double major in finance and business information systems. Shortly after, I started working at the bank for 2 years as a licensed banker. I recently quit my job back in June to take trading and investing full time to achieve generational wealth.
Listen, man, that's awesome. So I got a couple of questions. So you talked about trading and just different things like that. So for us, I'll include myself sometimes. For us newbies, what should we look out for? Or what are some of the things? What is that beginner level if we want to get into trading? Now, I do have some stuff through a broker that he invests. I don't know what he's invested in. I don't know where it goes. I just know he takes money out of my account every month and he does what he does. But if I wanted to kind of get into it from the ground floor, I'm a beginner, I know there's a lot of apps and things like that. So can you kind of help us out, what we should look out for and where we should go?
Yes. First, you want to start with education. You simply want to educate yourself about the market before you even put any money into the market. So like you can start with the crypto market or you can start with the stock market. It's totally up to you. But I recommend getting into both of them because both of them have, great exponential returns. As far as like apps, very beginner friendly apps for the stock market are like Webull. A lot of people like to use Robinhood as well. The reason why I don't really support Robinhood was because I don't know if you remember back in the day with the GameStop fiasco.
Yes.
What Robinhood did was when GameStop was going up all crazily, Robinhood restricted you from selling GameStop. So basically,
Gotcha.
they weren't for the retail traders. So due to the fact that we're all retail traders, me personally, I wouldn't recommend anyone to use Robinhood. You can use it if you want to, but just understand that like the company's not, for the everyday person. That's why personally I like to use TD Ameritrade, Fidelity, the standard brokerage accounts that are actually for the people.
Okay, for the people that don't know, I just want to back up just a little bit. What's the crypto part? Now, most people are, they're probably most familiar with the stock market part, but not so much the crypto part. Can you kind of break that down for us?
Yes, crypto is digital currency, and it's going to be the future. Like, it's not going anywhere. So if I can just give you like a little bit of insight about it.
Please do.
When I was a freshman back in 2015, I was buying Bitcoins for $300. And you see the current price of Bitcoin now is 50,000. Now, if you look at any of the asset classes over the past 10 years, Bitcoin has outperformed every asset class. I'm talking S&P 500, the Dow Jones, the gold. Bitcoin has dominated every asset class. So with that being taken into consideration, you have to understand that Bitcoin's not going anywhere, and it's a very good hedge against the U.S. dollar because, as you know, not the president, but the United States government printed out so much money over the past few years. What's going to happen? Inflation, you can kind of already see it today. Gas prices are higher, grocery prices are higher. Everything is just high.
Exactly. Okay. So, like I said, you talked about Bitcoin. A lot of people, what would help people get over the hesitation of doing stuff like Bitcoin? Because you got people like you know, my mom or my aunt and them, you know, they're kind of hesitant to first be online, period, and two, you know,
You
physical
have
money,
to
physical money they can't see.
you
Like
have to
what?
be you
Go
have to
ahead.
be adaptive. Like think about it. In the world we live in today, look at all the children out there. Everything is digital. Everything is on the phones. Like
Absolutely.
kids don't carry money anymore. They get what? They get their debits, they get their mom's or dad's debit card or credit card, right? So like when you take that into consideration, like how, useful is your cash sitting in hard cash? It's not doing anything. And like to be honest, like cash is like it's one of the worst asset classes out there because like it's not building. So like if you have like let's say you have $100,000 cash, okay. If you had $100,000 cash 5 years ago, today it'd only be worth like 80,000.
Mm.
So you already lost like 20%.
Wow.
But if you would have put that 100,000 into let's say Bitcoin, or you could have put into anything, you could put in the S&P 500, you could put in the Apple, you could have put in the Tesla 5 years ago. Like there's so many things you could have put into 5 years ago. But I guarantee you, anything you put into it 5 years ago, if you bought into a good company, it's going to be worth more.
Gotcha.
And the
Okay.
way I try to like get people to like understand about like investing or whatnot, it's just like take investing money as money you're not going to want back in 5 to 10 years. So like
Okay.
basically during the first 5 years, you don't care about the fluctuation of the price because at the end of the day, if you're not selling it, you're not losing money. So like I know a lot of people are scared to invest because like they don't like how their money goes up and down. But
Hmm.
what you have to understand is if you want to make money, your money has to go up and down in order for it to make money. Because nothing goes up straight all the way. Like you
Okay.
look at like let me give you a good example, Dogecoin. You saw Dogecoin, pop off the beginning of this year. It went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, it went up, and now it's gone down. You know?
So, question, and this is, like it's some of the things I've heard before. So, when it goes down, a lot of people, can you help us out with, like when it does go down, is that time to sell? I've also heard when it does go down, why don't you just buy more shares?
So I
Um,
recommend I like one of my first duck tips videos. It was called the duck tips buy red sell green. I actually do recommend buying dips, but not in like meme coins. So Dogecoin, if you did your research about it, it's a meme coin. It has no utility. It's not really used for anything. What I would recommend buying a dip in is like Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin is at 50,000 right now. When it dipped to like 30,000 a couple months ago, that was a good time to buy in because that was a pretty low point, and you would have already been up about like 70% on your investment.
wow,
But
man.
as far as like the market goes, a good strategy is to always buy at a discount. Think about it. When you go to Foot Locker, you go to Champs, and you got the Jordan, they're like worth 220. But if you see them on sale for 140, you're gonna cop them, right? How
Exactly.
come? How come when it comes to the market, when people see Bitcoin hit 60,000, they don't want to buy it then, but then they see it hit 30,000, they still don't want to buy it. It's literally half off.
Mm,
Like, why would he not want to buy it? If it was a pair of Jordans, you would buy it right away because you could put them on your feet and then you could show them off. But the problem with Bitcoin is you can't really show off a Bitcoin. It's in your phone. But that's the whole point of an investment. Like nobody should really know about your investments. You should have your investments for yourself, and then sell them when you want to sell them. Or like honestly, the rich and wealthiest people in the world, they don't sell their investments. They borrow against them.
mm,
So like with Bitcoin, like you could borrow against your Bitcoin if you don't want to sell it. You could take a loan out against your Bitcoin. Same with your Roth IRA or your 401k. You could take a loan out against your 401k or Roth IRA instead of selling it. And that's one of like probably like the best thing to do because like at the end of the day, you don't want to sell your investments because you know your investments are going to go up. They're not going to go up like all the time, but like they're going to go up and down. It's going to be a roller coaster ride, but at the end of the day, it's going to be higher in the future than it is now.
man. So I think, especially in our culture and just different things like that, these things aren't the way you broke it down, because a lot of young people are into like sneakers and different things like that, and I think
Exactly. Yeah.
the lack of exposure at a young age, and that's kind of one of the things, like for me doing this podcast, that I want to kind of target. I want to target those kids just graduating high school, and we're going into college. Like a lot of kids get these net check back, and
Mm-hmm.
they're spending it on whatever. I know when I was in college, you
Designer,
know,
Balenciaga. Balenciaga. I
Yeah,
already know.
they're getting all these things. They're getting this money back from whatever they're doing. And I saw something the other day running through Instagram. It was crazy. When you think about it, it's like, we were just talking about Jordans, maybe like 200, 220, but Nike stock is $175.
I'm so happy you brought up Nike stock. So like that was on one of my Duck tips as well. Whatever you buy a lot of, let's say you buy the Apple iPhone every 2 years, or you buy Nike clothes, or you buy this, one, and the third. Look if there's a stock for that company and buy into that stock, because if you're buying the company already, why not buy into the stock? You're already supporting the company. So if you're supporting the company, the stock, if you support it and a majority supports it and all your other friends support it, what do you think is going to happen to the stock? And I literally did that in college. I bought Nike for like 70. I sold it for 140. Doubled my
Wow.
money on Nike.
See, like I said, that type of thing, and it's crazy. I was in business when I was in college, and nobody ever talked to us about these things. You know what I'm saying? It
It's
was
because they don't want us to be financial literate. Think about it. Like when you graduate high school, they don't teach you how to apply for a credit card. They don't teach you about an FHA loan. They don't
mm-mm.
teach you about anything. They don't even teach you how to set up a bank account. When you go to college, you have all these courses designated for your major and minor, and they still don't teach you how to work in the real world, because there's definitely a fundamental side, but there's also like what happens in the real world. Like it's completely different than when you got to take a test.
Listen, man. That, like I said, these simple things, especially like I said, targeting that certain demographic and changing the way they should think about money. Like you said, and it's what you said is something I've always heard as well. Like a lot of the things that you're buying, why not be an owner of it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like we buy a lot of sneakers. Everybody has a cell phone, and just start where you're consuming a lot, and then
Mm-hmm.
see if they have some stock that you can get into. But we're not taught that at a young age,
We're
and we're
not.
not
We're not.
taught we're not even taught that in high school or coming out of college. It's something that you kind of stumble into, either having a conversation with somebody, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I think if we had the exposure to it, it would help us better along the way, especially even getting into stuff like real estate, and just different things like that. Because even with that, if you had real estate, you could use the income from the real estate to buy stocks. You know what I'm
Real estate
saying?
is real estate is one of the best investments because they have the best tax advantages. So like when
Listen,
you're in the real estate market, like you get a lot more tax breaks than you do in the stock market or crypto market.
man, we're slowly getting there, but we're still so far behind. And
We are far behind, but with all the resources we have today, with our computer, our phones, the internet, there's no reason for anyone to be uneducated on the subject. Like all the information is out there for free. You don't
it
have to pay a
is.
dime. You don't have to pay a dime for anything. And if anybody's trying to sell you something, just understand what they're trying to sell you. They're 9 times out of 10, they're selling you themselves. Like they put all the information together, they package it, they make it look real, pretty and whatnot, so that you can click buy. But in all reality, you don't have to buy anything. Everything out there is for free.
Man. Man, just in this little time, you have kind of like opened my eyes to some things, and I know some people are going to get a lot of value out of it. So, for more duck tips, how can people follow you? How can they get in touch with you, or were you posting doing these things for these duck tips so people can learn
I
from you?
post, I post my duck tips on Instagram at Curt.Duck, Curt.Duck. And then I have a Twitter as well, twitter.com/investor, where on my Twitter, I've been talking on my Twitter, for a year and a half now, just giving out financial advice. And then on my Instagram, I'm trying to tailor it towards my business because I actually just applied for LLC for duck tips.
Oh man, that's what's up. That is what's up, man. Definitely, man. Just to see how you've grown, and the young man that you've become, man. Very proud of you. Definitely, man. Excited that that we are related, and I appreciate you so much for the information, man. So all of the stuff that he named, I'm gonna have in the information down there for the YouTube channel, and I also post it on there as well, on for all the major platforms that you guys listen to the podcast on. Oh man, cuz I really appreciate you coming on here. We finally got it. We finally got it done. But for everybody, listen, I need you guys to make sure you guys do a couple of things. Man, if you're receiving great value, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Giving a Purpose podcast is doing a lot of things. And like 2022, what I'm trying to focus on is those kids or those young people that are graduating from college and those that are leaving the college. So about 18, I want to concentrate on 18 to 30. So because those are those prime times, you're starting to think about things. I know you've been through, when you get to those certain ages, you're thinking about buying a house, you're thinking about getting married. Then you're thinking about, well, where does this money come from? Then you're having kids. Well, how am I paying for college? And there's so many different avenues and things that we can learn to make sure that you have that information. So I'm glad I could bring Curt on here today. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
No, you're good.
This is something I forgot to mention. You have kids out there who are literally 12 to 14 years old flipping NFTs, making over 100,000.
Oh man, you know what? We I was about to end it, but we not about to do that. No, explain what NFTs are. Like that's been going around a lot. Like I said, when stuff starts to happen, like I feel that we don't catch on to it until either the price is really high or everything. So let me back up. I was about to end, but yes, that's one of the things I did want to ask you to make sure I asked you. What is NFTs? What is that? I was watching a podcast. I think I was watching I Am Athlete or something like that. I think Des Bryant was talking about it. Like he's like, yeah, I'm doing these NFTs. I'm doing this. And it's just like, well, what is that?
So an NFT is a non-fungible token. And basically it has value because it is for like a specific owner, and that owner can either resell it or hold it. NFT, how can I describe it? Like, you want to do your research about NFTs, but then also just understand like NFTs is kind of like how when Bitcoin first came out and no one understood what Bitcoin was. Mm-hmm. You're going to want to understand what an NFT is because it's not going anywhere. Like how, okay, you got the metaverse coming out, right? In the metaverse, like what's going to be real popular in the metaverse is having these NFTs, having these special tokens that you can put up on your wall, or a pair of shoes, or like anything. An NFT can be anything, but like the whole point of it is like you can't steal an NFT. Mm. You know how like you can buy a pair of Jordans and they can be real or knockoffs, and you could tell the difference between a real and a knockoff. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the same thing with the NFT. When you get the NFT, you're going to know the real deal, and like nobody can make a copycat of it and try to rip you off.
Gotcha. Okay. Listen, that's I needed that little nugget. So, like I said, what I'm going to try to do if your schedule allows, and just whatever we got to do. So we're up on stuff. I'm going to try to bring you back, and so we can keep people up to date on what's going on. So at least I mean, like you said, there's no excuses in the palm of their hand anyway, but we're going to do our due diligence and just make sure that they know what's going on anyway. So I'm going to try to bring you on. If we could do it like once a month or just whenever, your schedule allows, try to bring you back on.
I think once a month will be perfect. Like whatever questions are asked the most from people, we can kind of like, make a topic by topic for that. Yeah. I know people are going to be real curious about NFTs, about crypto. As far as like any apps for crypto that I recommend, I'll recommend KuCoin. KuCoin has a lot of the cryptocurrencies that Coinbase doesn't have. Mm-hmm. Coinbase is a great start, but if you do get on Coinbase, what I recommend you to do is to also download Coinbase Pro and download the Coinbase Wallet. And if you buy anything on Coinbase, make sure you buy it in Coinbase Pro because the fees are cheaper on Coinbase Pro.
Gotcha.
Than they are on Coinbase.
Got you. Listen, y'all heard it here. So once a month, we're going to come back and just update you guys. We're going to get some feedback from here, see what you guys want to know. And I'm going to bring Curt back on so we can get you that information. Like I said, once again, because I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate the information and the value you supplied today. Listen,
thank you.
You guys, you know what to do. Do one more thing for me. Make sure you live on purpose and make sure you live in purpose. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
You've been listening to the Giving a Purpose podcast. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or Google Play to get new, fresh weekly episodes. For more, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter.